emergency! What is up, my loyal Curtis Zone fans? I, your humble and handsome host, Dylan J. Curtis, do nothing but welcome you to another episode of the Curtis Zone. As always, remember to hit the like and subscribe button, because today is another episode that you love. Today we're doing another episode on Power Rangers. Today is more specifically, we're doing Power Rangers S.P.D, Space Patrol Delta. And remember, if you want to see more of me and my bouncing pecs, just remember to hit the like and subscribe button, get that bell ringing so that you can see more of me. So, for all of you who want to see this episode, just sit back, relax, enjoy, and remember to leave a comment section below if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or if you just want to make a request for a history of episode. Some breaking news has surfaced in the world of the DC Universe, which is why hashtag Restore the Snyderverse is still the official sponsor for the Curtis Zone. James Gunn has been fired from the DC Universe, and someone is set to replace him, someone who I am not allowed to divulge at this moment because nothing is set in stone. Remember, hashtag Restore the Snyderverse still the sponsor for today's episode and all future episodes. With the upcoming Little Mermaid movie coming out, and with the announcement of the Hunchback of Notre Dame live-action movie coming out, it has now been announced that Johnny Depp will be playing Jack Skellington in a live-action Nightmare Before Christmas. Now, nothing is set in stone of who he's going to play. He could play Jack Skellington, he could play Oogie Boogie, he could play somebody. But we can't wait nonetheless. The final piece of news I'm going to give to you guys is the fact that Ben Affleck is set to direct the upcoming Batman, the Brave and the Bold for the new DCEU. However, since James Gunn's firing, it looks like that movie's not going to get made, but we can't wait for it nonetheless. Now, let's get into the episode, alright? Remember, hit the like and subscribe button. Power Rangers S.P.D wouldn't grace the airwaves of television until February of 2005, would have its final episode in later of that same year, more specifically November. It was a part of the Saturday morning lineup called ABC Kids and the JetX Monday night lineup. Now, the first thing you need to know about Power Rangers S.P.D is that this is the third season where they were portrayed as cops, okay? Now, the reason why this show was critically revived so much is due to the fact that this was another season where a black guy played the Red Ranger. And he was a black guy and originally, before he played the Red Ranger, he was a punk rocker, okay? The actor that played him was a punk rocker, which was pretty cool if you ask me. Now that we've done the non-fiction origin, let's do the fictional origin, shall we? And remember, like and subscribe. Now, the fictional origin starts a little bit like this. And a race of aliens known as the Cherubian Empire came to a planet known as Syria. So the Syrians created this group known as Space Patrol Delta. The Cherubian Empire was led by Emperor Grum, who is one of the most prolific emperors ever. And the S.P.D were led by Commander Kruger. Grum and Kruger battled it out, and all of Kruger's fellow S.P.D cohorts fought for hours, most of the time without sleep, until they were finally driven back by Kruger and S.P.D after Grum lost one of his horns. Grum and his forces were forced to retreat, but not before Grum kidnapped Kruger's wife, Icinia. Now, later we find out that Icinia was not destroyed. In fact, she was alive on Grum's ship, but hey, I just spoiled that for you. Skipping some things here and there, Grum is now looking for a way to get back to Earth so he can destroy Commander Kruger, while at the same time, Kruger is training new cadets, Sky, Bridge, and Sydney. The three of them are sent out to find the street thieves who are known as Jack and Z, and you'll find out why that's important later. Without skipping a little bit more here and there, Kruger elevates them to active status and gives them their new S.P.D Delta morphers. And they all morph into the S.P.D Rangers. The S.P.D team consists of Jack, the Red Ranger, Sky, the Blue Ranger, Bridge, the Green Ranger, Z, the Yellow Ranger, and finally Sydney, the Pink Ranger. All of them have special skills and abilities, which I'll go over in powers and abilities. Now let's move on to important moments. The first important moment you need to know about is Sam. Alright, and in episode In the two-part episode known as Sam, we meet this kid named, well, Sam. He has the ability to teleport things, alright? Now, we see him later on in the season when he comes back from the future as the Omega Ranger. And this is after he joins S.P.D. The next important moment you need to know about is Commander Doggy Kruger. For those of you who don't remember, Commander Doggy Kruger made it to the top 10 best and important and favorite characters in Power Rangers because he was the first person who was not a human to become a Power Ranger. In the two-part episode known as Shadow, Doggy Kruger returned to the S.P.D. Fighting force as the Shadow Ranger with his trusted Shadow Saber. I gotta say, I love that episode because he took on 100 robotic foot soldiers by himself with nothing but a sword. It was awesome. The final important moment you need to know about is in the final episode when Doggy Kruger finally comes into confrontation with Emperor Grum, and they both defeat, and not only does he defeat Emperor Grum, but he also places him in a data card. I'm going to tell you what those are in powers and abilities. And now we're talking top 5 favorite episodes. My 5th favorite episode are the episodes known as Wormhole and History. In those episodes are the team up between S.P.D. and Dino Thunder. It was pretty cool, guys. I'm not going to spoil everything for you, but I can tell you this much. Just watch the episodes. My 4th favorite episode is the two-part series known as SWAT. You see, in this episode, the 5 Rangers, they're a bunch of teenagers that live in the same room together, and I'm surprised that they hadn't argued this much before, but they're arguing a lot. So, Commander Kruger sends them to Sergeant Silverback, who sends them for SWAT training. Sergeant Silverback. Try saying that 5 times fast. Anyway, Sergeant Silverback puts them under SWAT training. And when they get done, they get an upgrade known as the SWAT mode. Pretty cool stuff, guys. My 3rd favorite episode is known as Abridged. In this episode, we really detail how good of a detective Bridge is. For those of you who don't know, he's going to be making it on the top 10 on the best detectives in animated television and all children's programming. I meant, it's same thing. My 2nd favorite episode is the episode known as Insomnia. In this episode, the Power Rangers go back and detail the entire season of Power Rangers and basically put together how they figured out how Grum is looting the planet, and not only that, he is using it to build something. So, watch that episode. My number 1 favorite episode is Reflection. In this episode, the Red Ranger gets a Battleizer. For those of you who don't know, the Battleizer is specifically coded to the Red Ranger. The only exception is, I'm not going to spoil that for you. Anyway, the Red Ranger's S.P.D. Battleizer is brought through their robotic interactive canine known as RIC. It's an acronym, Robotic Interactive Canine. Now, let's move on to powers and abilities, shall we? The S.P.D. Rangers are military trained in hand-to-hand combat, weaponry, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Their access to the morphing grid is artificial, meaning that it's all computer-based. Unlike the Dino Thunder team, where it's limited by the power of the Dino Gems. Or, something else like that.
Their individual abilities is where it gets interesting. Jack, the Red Ranger, has the ability to make himself intangible. He can pass through any solid object with discretion. Sky, the Blue Ranger, has the ability to create shields from his hand which can deflect anything except high concentrated sonic energy. And then there's Bridge, the Green Ranger, who has the ability to read people's energy auras. He basically is the best detective out of all of them. He is also 3rd in command. Elizabeth, or Z, as she calls it, the Yellow Ranger, has the ability to make replications of herself. Basically, she has to make energy duplicates of herself. Sydney has the ability to change her molecular structure of her hands into any solid matter that she touches. Basically, she has fists of iron and stone. Pretty cool stuff, if you ask me. Next, there's Sam, the Omega Ranger, who has the ability to teleport himself and other people and other objects. He's also from the future, and he became the Omega Ranger through years of training at S.P.D. Academy. Finally, there's Commander Anubis Doggy Kruger, who is the most skilled samurai in all of Power Rangers. So skilled, in fact, that he became the Shadow Ranger. However, they are still police officers, which means they have to follow proper procedure, and they also have to obey the chain of command. They're skilled detectives, fighters, and their Zords are basically cop weapons. They're police vehicles. It's pretty cool stuff, guys. S.P.D. Rangers, my friends, they're awesome.
And just like that, another episode of the Curtis Zone comes to a close, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who have not already, remember to hit the like and subscribe button for more content. And if you want to see more of me and my bouncing pecs, just remember to hit that bell. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, or if you just want to make a request for a history of episode or any episode period, remember to just leave it in the comment section down below. And remember, I'm always here. And as always, hashtag Restore the Snyderverse is still our sponsor. So remember to like that.